Hello everyone. Let us discuss some short answer type questions of environmental studies. Questions are answers should be within 75 words. Number 1, what is environment? Environment is the physical, chemical and biological condition of the region in which an organism lives. Therefore, environment is the sum total of all the conditions and influences the development and life of all organisms on the planet Earth. The physical conditions that environmental study deals with are the atmosphere, the land, the rivers and the oceans. The chemical condition includes the chemical cycles that flow through the physical and biological systems. The biological conditions include all living organisms starting from lowest microorganisms like bacteria, virus and fungus etc. to plants and animals including man. Next comes the question, what is biosphere? The biosphere includes all the zones of earth in which life is present, that is entire bioresources of the earth. The biosphere is made up of biomes, which are areas where plants and animals of similar nature can be found together. Most of the terrestrial life of earth is found in a zone from 3 meters below and 30 meters above it. Aquatic life inhabits a zone from surface to about 200 meters below in the oceans and seas. Some creatures can live far outside of these ranges. For example, some birds can fly as high as 8 kilometers above the earth, while some fishes found as deep as 8 kilometers below the ocean. This is about biosphere. Next, a short note on hydrosphere. The oceans, lakes, rivers, ponds, polar ice caps, etc. together make up the hydrosphere. Water is the most abundant substance on Earth's surface. The oceans cover approximately 71% of the planet, which is 97% of the Earth's water. The remainder is fresh water found in glaciers, rivers, lakes, springs, etc. The water moves through hydrological cycle. It falls on earth in the form of rain, seeps into underground aquifers, rises to the surface from springs or seeps from porous rocks, and flow from small streams into larger rivers that empty into lakes, seas and oceans, where some of it evaporates into the atmosphere to begin the cycle anew. Next comes, what is lithosphere? The outer shell of the earth is lithosphere. It consists of minerals occurring in the earth's crust and the soil. Soil is the dynamic, complex, constantly changing outer part of the earth that extends from few centimeters deep in some places to several meters deep in other places. It provides mechanical anchorage to plants besides being reservoir of water and plant nutrients. Below the lithosphere is the mantle layer, which is about 2,888 km thick and is chiefly made up of iron and magnesium. The next deeper layer is the core, which consists of solid materials of high density. It contains mostly nickel and the temperature of the core is around 8,000 degrees centigrade. Next such question is what is atmosphere? The atmosphere is the blanket of air that adheres the Earth's surface. It consists of mixture of gases. It begins from a few meters within the soil or the water surface and extends to a height of about 60,000 kilometers above the earth. Heat energy from the sun keeps the atmosphere in motion, causing the formation of weather system and its movement across. The temperature of the atmosphere varies within the altitude, and the atmosphere can be divided into 5 major layers on the basis of temperature. The lowest portion extends 11 kilometers from the earth's surface is a troposphere. It is made up of 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and remaining 1% made up of water vapor, carbon dioxide, neon and argon. Average temperature of troposphere is minus 16 degrees centigrade. Above troposphere, about 50 kilometers from the earth's surface is stratosphere. Temperature varying from 16 degrees centigrade to minus 4 degrees centigrade. Stratosphere contains ozone. Above the stratosphere is mesosphere, lies in the altitude zone between 50 to 80 kilometers. Above 80 kilometers is the thermosphere. Temperature rises spectacularly in this region and likely to reach 900 degrees centigrade and at 350 kilometers. It extends up to 500 kilometers. Above this layer is exosphere, where the air density is very low and the outer space begins after it. This is about atmosphere. Next comes the carbon cycle. Carbon is the basic constituent of all organic compounds. Carbon occurs as carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, as organic compounds in plants and animal bodies, in coal and petroleum deposits, and as inorganic carbonates in water, rocks, cells and tests, etc. Photosynthesis brings carbons of atmosphere into the biotic pool, while respiration and decomposition of organic matter adds most of these elements to the atmosphere. Carnivorous feeds on herbivores, and the carbon compounds are digested and converted into other forms. Carbon is released to the atmosphere directly as carbon dioxide in respiration of both plants and animals. Bacteria and fungi attack the dead remains of the plants and animals. They degrade the complex organic compounds to simple substances, which are then available for other cycle. Part of the organic carbon becomes incorporated into the earth's crust as coal, gas, petroleum, limestone and coral reef. Carbon from such deposits may be liberated after a long period of time. Here is a diagram of the carbon cycle. Here we will see carbon in atmosphere as carbon dioxide, then through photosynthesis it goes to the plants, and from plants it goes to the herbivorous animals, and through herbivorous animals it goes to the carnivorous animals. Some carbons also go to the as the petroleum. Then we will see carbon in the plants in the respiration use, animals in respiration, and in case of cells, and also in taste we will found carbon. Oxidation, combustion etc. takes place, and then carbon in the limestone and carbon in water, then it goes to the atmosphere. So carbon moves in a cyclic manner, so it is known as the carbon cycle. Next we will see about nitrogen cycle. Here the diagram we will see nitrogen in atmosphere as N2. It takes the then comes to the nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen fixation takes place by the bacteria, and it goes to the plants, and it goes to the animals, and we will see after that decomposition also. Nitrogen in animals, decomposition is in these processes, it is converted to ammonia, nitrates, and then it comes to the atmosphere. So nitrogen is required for synthesis of amino acids, proteins, enzymes, chlorophylls, nucleic acids, etc. in plants. It is an essential element for all living organisms. The main reserve of nitrogen in atmospheric air, rock deposits, and the living and dead organic matter. Biological nitrogen fixation carried out on by some bacteria and blue-green algae brings the nitrogen of the atmospheric pool into the soil or aquatic bodies, from where it is taken up in the biosphere. Abiological nitrogen fixation also provides some nitrogen to the living organisms. Decay and decomposition of plants and animal wastes yield ammonia, which is converted into nitrite by bacteria Nitrosomonas, and then nitrate by the activity of bacteria Nitrobacter. The process of denitrification brought about by the activity of bacteria such as Pseudomonas, Bacillus, Micrococcus, dinificans, etc. converts nitrates to elemental nitrogen, which is finally added to the atmospheric pool. The cyclic flow of nitrogen in an ecosystem involves a precise balance of few species of bacteria so that adequate levels of nutrients are maintained without excessive accumulation of inorganic and organic compounds of nitrogen. This is about nitrogen cycle. Next comes the short question, what is population? Population is generally a group of individuals of a particular species occupying a particular area at a specific time. Ecologists recognize two types of population: monospecific population. It is the population of individuals of only one species. Mixed or polyspecific population. It is the population of individuals of more than one species. Polyspecific population includes group of individuals of any kind of organisms. Then comes the non-communicable diseases. Non-communicable diseases, also known as the chronic diseases, are not passed from person to person. They are of long duration and generally slow progression. The major non-communicable diseases are cardiovascular diseases like heart attacks and stroke, cancer, diabetes, hypertension, and obesity. Children, adults, and the elderly people are all vulnerable to the risk factors that contribute to the non-communicable disease, whether from unhealthy diets, physical inactivity, exposure to tobacco, smoke, or the effects of the harmful use of alcohol. These diseases are driven by forces that include aging, rapid unplanned urbanization, and globalization of unhealthy lifestyles. This is about non-communicable diseases. Next comes the natural and man-made disaster. Disaster is a sudden change in the environmental condition causing excessive damage to human as well as plants, animals, and surroundings. It is an immediate event with very less prior knowledge. The gravity of the loss or the intensity of the event is measured by the amount of loss by way of living beings and national property. Disaster is divided into two parts: natural and man-made. Flood, cyclone, earthquakes, drought, tsunami are known as natural disasters. Man-made disasters include fire accident, nuclear explosions, war, transportation accidents, terrorism, cyber attack, crime, etc. Next comes the water cycle. Water also flows in a cyclic manner in our environment. Interchange of water between atmosphere, land and sea and between living organisms and their environment is accomplished through water cycle. Water cycle involves evaporation, transpiration, cloud formation and precipitation. Water of atmosphere reaches the earth's surface through precipitation and from the earth's surface it reaches the atmosphere through evaporation and transpiration. The amount of water available for evaporation is determined by the amount supplied by precipitation and condensation. Between rainfall input and evaporation output, there lies a precarious water balance. This is a water cycle diagram. In here we will see atmospheric water after condensation it goes through precipitation and rainwater drops to the plants, then surface runoff, some water goes to the soil, under soil through percolation and some water to ocean, and then ocean water through evaporation, also through plants and animals. In these cases we will found through respiration and photosynthesis. Some water also evaporate to the atmosphere. So water also flows through a cyclic manner. This is about water cycle. So these are some, we have discussed some short questions of environmental studies. So thank you all.